And we're back once again. Welcome all. I'm that guy over there, and we're going to continue working on this boss. So, today we're going to make the boss explode. That's the most satisfying part for me, I'll tell you. I just love huge explosions, so I enjoy making them. Alright, we're going to make a really crappy explosion graphic. Sort of a cartoon, like comic book explosion graphic. And we're going to manipulate this for our needs. Always set the hotspot in the middle of an explosion graphic, unless you want it to be offset. I also made a little sparkle while you weren't looking. I need to enunciate better. Some of my videos, they come out and I just like mumble through the whole thing. It's pretty sad. I really hope I'm not doing that this time, because that would be pretty disappointing. Okay. So, with these things, I'm going to name this value transparency, and this thing's also going to have a transparency value. It's helpful to name your values just so you know what you're doing. I've visited past projects where I didn't name my values, and I had a super heck of a time figuring out what I was doing. Because the values were like, value E, value F, value G. Sometimes I'd skip values for no reason. It was odd. So these things have transparencies now. New group time. Explosion. And, alright, I was going to do something and now I forgot. Oh yeah, I made this just a quick backdrop. There's nothing fancy about that. I just did it for some background color. Oh yeah, I was going to add yet another value to this thing. Explosion timer. We're going to start this value off at about 250. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, let's actually put it at 300. There is a reason for this. No? 350. 400. Sorry about that. But yeah, 400 is the final value. This thing 0. Alright. Good enough. So, when this thing's value, or its HP rather, is lower or equal to 0, we're going to make one action when event loops. That makes it so this, whatever happens when this thing occurs, only happens once. It doesn't just keep looping over and over and over and over. So it's going to set flag 1 on. When flag 1 is on, subtract from explosion timer 1. What the heck, let's just say when explosion timer is greater than 0, 2. Really doesn't matter in this case, but I just prefer to do that, just to be safe. So to subtract 1 from explosion timer. Okay. Just for the sake of things, 5, 6. Let's make this thing have an ID of 6, alright? There is a reason for this. So, an explosion timer. Oh man, this is gonna get complicated, but it's worth it. So, alright, here's where it starts getting bad. Stay with me, guys. When that flag is on, we're gonna start loop X for explosion. We're gonna start it. Okay, let's just say 7 times. So on loop X, when this value, the ID of this thing, is equal to loop index of X and the explosion timer is equal to this thing's ID plus 1, there's a reason for the plus 1, times 50, we're going to destroy that. Also, let's go on up here. Don't worry, this part's simple. Instead of always on second always under head, we're going to say when this thing's HP is greater than 0. Now let's test it. Hopefully this works. Already I just remembered something that's going to make it not work. Also, it's going to take forever to kill, so I'm going to cripple it by my own right by giving it only 20 health, so I can test this more easily. Boom, 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 boom. Only bad thing is the head doesn't get destroyed. So, we're just going to make a pretty straightforward event when explosion timer is equal to 350. No. 300. This thing gets destroyed. So, okay. I'm going to set this to 350. Sorry, I had to do it again. And of course, when the explosion timer is equal to 0 or lower than or equal than 0, lower than or equal to 0, this thing's going to get destroyed. Now, explosions. Let's create these things with a bouncing ball movement, any direction, speed default of 30, deceleration 40. Okay, this thing, transparency, okay. At the bottom, we're going to add another group of events called explosion graphics. Oh man, I'm not going to have enough time to do all that I wanted, am I? Nope, probably not. Okay, so explosion graphics. Always. We have the explosions over here, they're white so you can barely see them. Effect. Set alpha blending coefficient to this thing's transparency. Also do the same thing for that other thing, sparkle. Okay. And also we're going to always add to this thing's transparency 10. Also for the other thing. Oh man, I'm not going to have enough time. Alright, maybe I will actually. So, when these things get destroyed, we're also going to create an explosion at the segment. We're also going to create sparkle at the segment. Go into this thing and copy the sparkle event and paste it 1,000,000 times. By 1,000,000 I mean like 15 or so times. Then we're going to go over to the sparkle, which is this thing. We're going to say movement set speed to random out of, let's say 31 plus 25, like that. And set its transparency to random out of 100 times -1. You know, I just realized some of you must be so lost with this. This is really complicated. Oh well, you'll learn. Keep trying. Keep trying. Okay. Destroy. Let's just see how this works. And then I'll probably have to end the episode. Oh, that's bad. Actually, it's not terribly bad. They just moved because this object, the head, no longer existed, so they had nothing to base their equation on. So let's change this to, well, when the okay, quick card count, number of objects with a head is greater than 0. Also, it was still following me, so we're going to have to change that. When it gets killed, or let's just say when HP is greater than 0. Hey, that's the easy way to do it. So now, let's see if this will work. Yep. Boom, 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 boom. And it just disappears. Alright. So, whoops. So the boss can be destroyed now. And I'm out of time. So next episode we will finish this and we will re-sprite stuff. Alright. See you then.